Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are not already subscribed, please go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. Next to that there is also a bell notification button. Hit that so you can be notified for when I upload new videos. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up because it helps me out so much you do not even understand, like so much, and it just lets me see what videos that you guys like. Now, on with the video. It has been a while to say the least. I had a little bit going on, as everyone does at certain points in their lives, and I just got out the swing of things with making videos, but I do have a few ready to go, so hopefully that will, you know, give me a kick up the backside. Go on. So I've been incredibly lucky and Urban Decay actually sent me their Naked Heat palette a couple of weeks ago. So they sent me this one, and this one is actually unopened because I'd already bought my own one. So I'm going to be doing a review on it, and this review is going to be on the one that I have bought myself. Something may be happening with this one, but we shall see. Giving away nothing, obviously. So this is the one that I bought myself. They have not asked me to say anything. They literally just said, can we send you one to try out? I literally got it through the post and I was like, oh! What was that? So if you're just on this video for the tutorial, I will put a timestamp here right now. I couldn't get my words out then. So that you can head over, so that you can head straight over to the tutorial portion of the video. She got it out in the end. Not very well, but she got it out. Class video making. And I will put a timestamp here to when the swatches are, just so you can head over there if you just want to see the swatches. But if you would like to see the review on this palette, then I will begin right away. Was that smile really awkward? I feel like it was kind of fun. Okay, so this time around, the cardboard packaging of it is a little bit different. In previous years, it has just came in the cardboard box formation, but this year it's kind of a sleeve formation that it's came in, and I actually think that it's really, really cute. You have all your information on the sleeve, and then you get a little half box, which the actual palette comes in, and if you take it off, you have matchsticks on this side, so you have a nice graphic there. You also have burning roses on the other side, which is, kind of a vicious image really. But you know what, actually it's quite fitting, because when you actually think of roses, they are red and pink, and the tones in this palette are burnt reds and pinks, so actually that is quite fitting, that is quite creative, and I do like the imagery used on this. So I'll start by reading the blurb on the back of this. We all know that I can never get through these, but we're going to try. Naked heats up, get lit with all these 12 new, can't live without amber hued neutrals, including warm browns, burnt oranges and rich siennas. From a super smooth red brown matte and a glimmering copper to deep shifty bronze, this palette has everything you need to create a sultry daytime look, intensely smoky nighttime looks, and everything in between. There was a lot of adjectives in that. I'm trying to get this so that you can see it with the light, so I'm just, there we go. So on the box you have the usual crushed, you have the usual crushed eyeshadows, which I always find very, very satisfying. And then you have the names of each one. So you've got Ounce, Chase, Sourced, Low Blow, Lumber, He Devil, Dirty Talk, Scorched, Cayenne, and Fuego, Ashes and Ember. And then you also have a picture of the brush that you're going to get, and it says that this is a double-ended blending and a detailed crease brush. So that brush actually looks really, really good. Good. Ugh, such a mediocre word, isn't it? So the dimensions of this palette are 20 centimetres by 7 centimetres by 2 centimetres in height. This is the same dimensions as the Naked Smoky palette was, so it is exactly the same size, lengthways and widthways, and then height as well. They are, actually it is a tiny, tiny bit larger than the Naked Smoky, by the tiniest bit, but I think that's because of the way they have created the front bit of it. It's a lot more bulky, the design on the front, so maybe that is why. But you know, they're always going to be a similar size, you can't really complain. It's a lot smaller than other palettes, so are you complaining? Does it matter? Really? Really? I'm not complaining. Are you complaining? No. So it is made out of that similar plastic that the Naked Smoky was made out of, and it is exactly the same design with the embossed Naked Urban Decay and then the name. They are exactly the same, so they have the same placement and they are the same material. However, this one is in gold and this one is in silver. So the background to this palette is a metallic background with washes of red, orange and silver, I would say, in it. It's got like those sienna colour vibes, which they said sienna. And that is sunken into the background of the palette. Just above that they have these bars coming down. They are kind of coppery shaded bars kind of thing. They are closely packed together in the middle and then they have more spacing towards the edges, and the bars are also thicker at the edges and then more thin in the middle. I think that's trying to create a more 3D effect to maybe bow it out. And then they have this clear plastic on top so that you can see through that, and then they have the naked embossed onto the cover and, you know, adds a bit of texture. It is slightly out of the palette. So if we open up the palette, it contains the 12 shades that the naked palettes usually contain. We have 4 frost finishes, just these ones, and then we have 7 matte finishes, just these ones that I'm pointing to, and then we have 1 demi matte. It is actually more of a matte, but it does have that slight shimmer in it. With a couple of shades from this palette, I did experience fallout, and you will see that in the tutorial because there was quite a lot of fallout on my cheeks. Urban Decay's formulas are a little more powdery than the likes of Morphe formulas, and therefore you do sometimes get a little more fallout than with those brands. My favourite colour in this whole palette is actually Low Blow, and I kind of think that is because it doesn't flow with the rest of the palette. It's a taupe colour and it's not got that really strong red undertone. I don't know if that's going to be a good or a bad thing. My favourite portion of the palette as a whole is actually starting from the left, the first 5 colours up to Lumber. That is my favourite portion. I just think with those 5 colours you'd be able to create a gorgeous everyday look. So I'm going to be straight up honest, I had real difficulty with these 3 colours here. So I'm not a massive fan of the darker colours in this palette. So Ember, which is this one on the end here, I don't think that this formulation has been created properly and been perfected. It is a gorgeous colour in the pan, and you know what, when you swatch it with your finger it's absolutely beautiful, but when you try and apply it with a brush, which you will see in the tutorial portion of the video, the matte grey shade that is in the colour and the flecks of, you know, burnt reddy orange, the little shimmery flecks that are in it, they separate. And as an overall colour, it should not be doing this. They should not be separating. It's making it look patchy. When it happened, I did think, oh my god, it's me. I'm an idiot. So I just sprayed my brush with some setting spray, but it literally turned into this clay formula, and anything that I was applying it over, it was stripping it off, and then nothing underneath was applying to my lid. I'll insert a quick clip here of the very first look that I did with this palette, and it was awful. I don't know if it was me, I don't know what happened. I need to stop going on because I feel like people will then think that this palette is shit, but it's really not. It's really, really good, other than those 3 colours which I don't like. So En Fuego and Ashes, these 2 colours, they do apply beautifully, but they just are not as pigmented as they seem in the pans, and they do need to be built up. On the first application they also do go on very patchy. So when you're applying this, you need to keep that in mind. You need to be prepared to build it up. I think these colours work best when you put them on first. So you put the darker colours on first and then you blend the lighter colours around them into your crease per se. But other than that downer, every single other colour in this palette, from KN, however you say that, to Ounce, I am absolutely loving. The frost formulations are lovely. They are not as buttery as Morphe per se, but Urban Decay shadows have never been that buttery. They are kind of in between buttery and powdery. The frost ones are really, really smooth. They apply really well. They don't feel really, really grainy. They feel very, very smooth, especially when you apply them with your fingers. And they, oh my god, Urban Decay, they do the best formulations of when you want to spray setting spray onto, focus, there we go. If you're wanting to spray your brush with setting spray, they have the best foiled formula, which is why I was so surprised when this one didn't have like the best foiled formula and it went quite clayey, because these ones, insane. You need to try it. They go really foiled. It just looks, Honestly, I can't describe it, it's amazing. The formula of the mattes in the palette are so smooth, they just glide onto the skin. So on the back of the palette it tells me that the net weight of the eyeshadows is 0.05. That's all rubbed off, so I can't compare right now. Let's see this. Yes, so the Naked 2 is also 0.05. I don't know why I'm showing you because you won't be able to see it from there. So it still has 0.05 ounces in each of the pans, which I think all of the Naked palettes do have, so good. Brilliant. It also tells me that the brush is made in China, the eyeshadows are bulk made in the USA, and the whole palette is assembled in the Dominican Republic. You've been everywhere. So the lid of the palette is attached with the usual levers, and this time they have made it so that it's quite stiff and it goes back pretty far. But you know what? This is a really good thing because you can adjust it to whatever angle that you want to do your makeup at, and then it's not gonna, you know, like flop back and forth. I'll just get another palette for you and I'll just show you what I mean by it's pretty good, because the Vice 4 palette, one of my favourite palettes, however, you have no control whatsoever over the mirror. No control. Very irritating. But this one, I can put it to any angle I want. I can do my makeup like this. I can do my makeup like this. I can do my makeup like, you get it. I've got pins and needles in my foot. Ow. When you want the palette to close, it does close with the magnetic clasp. The mirror in this palette takes up the whole surface area of the lid, which is still a big improvement. I think you always want a big mirror so you can be able to see everything that you're doing on your face. The palette retails for £39.50, which I think is very similar to what the other ones retailed for. Or am I talking out my arse? The brush that you receive with this palette is once again double-ended. It says blending and detailed crease brush. I do like both of these brushes, however I think that, what do I think? What is my opinion? I think that they need to come away from the dense bristles. Now they are good for certain things, but they are very harsh, so when you're actually trying to blend and smoke colours, they aren't the best for blowing out your colours, and it makes it so that you don't have, you know, particularly the best blend in the world, and sometimes it doesn't even look blended at all. I have certain brushes in my collection, like such as the Urban Decay brush that came in the Alice in Wonderland palette. The one that was really fluffy and you could just smoke it out and blow it out, and if you wanted to be really precise with it, it was small enough so that you could go straight in your crease. That was amazing. They've put enough dense brushes into the palettes, so I think they need to do something a little bit different with the brushes. But the bristles are synthetic, so this is going to be suitable for vegetarians and vegans. It says Naked Heat in the middle of the brush, and then it has this, ooh, it has a really nice bronzy metallic colour in the middle. I quite like that. So I do like the brush. I just think in the next one they need to come away from the dense bristles. So I hope that that review gave you all the information that you were looking for about the palette. I know that certain things some people might not want to know and some things other people want to know. So I hope that I included all the information that you needed to make up your mind of whether you wanted this palette or not. I am now going to do some swatches, and then we are going to move on to the tutorial portion of the video, which I am showing you here on the screen now what the look is going to look like. So if you would like to skip on to that, then please do. There will be a timestamp here now as well. I'm just telling myself of what I need to do in the editing process, to be honest. So we will now get straight into the swatches. So to achieve these swatches I used my fingers, and I did 2 swipes in the pan colour and then did 2 swipes onto my arm to apply the colour so that they were all applied the same, and this is how they turned out. You can see that Fuego and Ashes are a lot patchier than the other colours, and I apologise that you can hardly see the first 2 colours on my skin tone. So Ounce is an ivory shimmer, Chaser is a light nude matte, Sourced is a soft terracotta matte, Low Blow is a brown matte, Lumber is a copper shimmer with a gold pearl shift, He Devil is a burnt red matte, Dirty Talk is a metallic burnt red, Scorched is a metallic deep red with gold micro shimmer, Cayenne, that's how you say it, I googled it, is a deep terracotta matte, and Fuego is a burgundy matte, Ashes is a deep reddish brown matte, and Ember is a deep metallic copper burgundy. As started off with a darker crease shade in this look, so this is En Fuego, and I'm going to run this colour through my crease with circular motions on a fluffy crease brush. The reason I chose to use this colour first is because I'd experienced previously that the darker colours didn't layer well over the lighter colours and therefore looked very patchy. I did this very messily so that I didn't risk having a harsh edge to the colour, so that therefore it would not blend out, and I feel that the circular motions worked better to smoke out this colour. I also didn't pack my brush with this colour as I don't want to have tons of fallout, and I didn't want to overload my lid. Then I just took the colour on the outer corner of my lid with the same circling motions and just continued to limit the harshness of the edges as much as I could. I also took a large clean buffing brush and ran this along the outside of the blend. This usually works really well for me, but not with this colour. It just extended it almost all the way to my eyebrow and made the outer corner look patchy, so skip out this step and just be persistent with your crease brush. So now I'm taking this deep ash purple shade called Ashes and applying this to the outer corner of my eye using a slightly more dense crease brush. I didn't want to use any blending brushes or shade brushes as I still wanted these darker colours to be super smoky. I'm also running the excess product through my crease using grounded motions to make sure that it all flows nicely together. Next, I'm taking a lighter caramel shade called Low Blow and placing this colour over the two darker colours in the crease. This will be the highest colour in the fade and it will help to create the gradient transition in the crease, but because we're using it over the top, it's going to lighten the two previous shades that we've already applied. Now I'm going to cut my lid using the NYX Photogenic Concealer in Porcelain on a flat shader brush and using the oval edge to help me create a neat curved cut crease over the lid of my eye just up to the fold. To fill the blank canvas that we've just created with the concealer, I'm going to use the colour Ember on a flat blending brush and patting this onto the concealer. You'll see how the colour separates into a shimmer surrounded by a matte grey colour in the consistency. I did attempt to persevere with this brush, but I thought it best if I swapped to a more precise brush and dusted the colour up to the edges of the cut crease, but this just ended up turning grey too. And all I thought was at least it's filled, so that's why it got left there. I lined my upper lash line using the Line Ace by Sigma. I drew a long straight line extending from the inner to the outer corner of my eyelashes, and then drawing a line from the outer corner extending up to the tip of my brow. From the edge of that line, I drag down to the outer third of my eyelashes to create a triangle and then fill this in with the liner to complete the cat's eye. Once this was complete, I moved on to my lower lash line, so I used the colour Chaser as I thought this would be a softer transition for the lower lash line, and to not accentuate my bags as all of the colours are red toned in this palette, but it was very light and blended almost perfectly with my skin tone, which wasn't exactly what I wanted. So over that I decided to smoke out the colour Low Blow, as this was the warm caramel that I used in my upper crease. So with this I just wagged my brush left and right to do so. And then on a precise angled brush I applied ashes to my lower lash line to thicken the appearance of my lower lashes, as mine are personally very thin. And once this was done, I used the NYX Doll Eyes mascara on my upper and lower lashes and then applied a set of false lashes, and that is the look complete. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Why did I say two words both so blah, 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 blah. If you did, please remember to give the video a thumbs up. It does help me out massively when you do, and it shows me the videos that you do like and what you don't like. If you're not already, please subscribe to my channel. The button is down below, and then next to that there's a little bell notification button. Make sure that you click that and it'll tell you when I upload new videos. Please leave a comment down below about your experiences that you've had so far with this palette. I'd love to hear about them, especially to see if anyone has come up with techniques of how to use the dark shades in this palette. I would love you to share with me so that I could perfect mine too. And also just leave comments down below of anything. I would love to have a chat with you all. I haven't been on here for a while. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I will see you in my next one.